Um, we employ 10 full-time people and 5 part-time. We process about 1.5 million pounds of all-natural beef. It's dry aged. That was a big thing when HACCP was coming through saying, oh, my gracious, you're going to have E. coli. Well, the University of Wisconsin, talking about how the universities have helped, they did a study and found that E. coli, that dry aging actually reduces E. coli. So that was one plus. We are a multi-species plant. Again, no one told me that I didn't know you couldn't process chickens and beef in the same plant. But you have white meat and red meat, I was told. And we decided, looked at the regulations, and we decided, well, we can't afford to build, no one can afford to build a small chicken processing plant. It's not economical. So what we did is, one of the farmers was raising some, and they had a small processing plant on their farm. The demand kept going up, so we decided we would raise some because we have all these empty greenhouses in the wintertime. Free heat. So we started raising some, and we started processing them. We became the first multi-species processing plant in the United States, where you can process red meat and white meat in the same plant. Now there's lots of people around our area doing that. Small processing plants are bringing in and processing chicken. So what we do is we process chickens one day and we process beef the other 4 days. So that's kind of how it works, and it helps because you can afford to do it that way because your overhead is spread out. Next. That's fine. Identification and traceability on all of our products, regardless. Even if you buy an apple or a tomato, we can tell you where it came from. And one of the things, again, talking about, and we'll talk a little bit more about this at the end, but who helped us and how did we get here? We're a for-profit business, and so it was very hard to get any kind of funding because we're not nonprofit. And so there's one thing called Small Business Innovative Research. And I just Googled. I was looking for some way to find some money and setting out in a population of 300 and realizing it's going to take a lot. And Process Verified was a way of tracing the USDA Process Verified was a way of tracing your product from the farm, through the retail market. And that's what I wanted to do because that's what all the big boys were doing. And I thought, well, gosh, we should be able to do it too. And the store's like, why aren't you Process Verified? It's like, well, let me see what we can do. So we Googled. I submitted a report, a grant proposal, and they came back and they said, well, vision, great idea, but we can definitely tell that you wrote it. But they funded it. That was a good thing. So my husband is very good with computers, and he likes to do that kind of stuff. So basically from the ear tag, we have a little passport that they fill out, and we can trace it. And up here at the vacuum package where the package goes out, it will tell what it is. It tells the lot number, the producer number, and the history of the animal on that barcode. And believe me, this isn't high-tech stuff, guys. This is stuff that we are low-tech. Our processing plant is one of those old, long, narrow processing plants where they used to have the inlaid, the grocery store was in the front, and they had the inlaid tin up above, long haul. That's what we got. But one thing about it is we don't have any, we're paid for, So that low overhead helps us be able to learn. And I think that's the key to it, low overhead and learn. Next, rules and regulations. All of them have rules and regulations. Even if you pack and sell eggs on your farm, it's rules and regulations. This right now is where I spend about probably 50% of my time now. And it's a very, very learning experience. If you have a meat processing plant, you have state and federal. If it's state inspected, you can only sell within the state. If it's federally inspected, then you can sell across the state line and internationally. The thing that's in the Farm Bill now is that you would have state inspected plants could ship across the state lines. That's vital. That is vitally important, and I'm looking forward to when that does pass because I think that will definitely help a lot of states, especially states that have a lot of state-inspected processing plants that will give them access. And again, you have to remember when the new regulations went through, over 50% of the processing plants within a 3-year period shut their doors. And it wasn't because they were doing anything wrong. It was just that they'd had a difficult time learning and understanding the new rules and regulations. Now, 8 years later, the USDA has done an excellent job of opening up to very small plants and helping them work through the issues. Next. Again, trying to get from the farm to the market and trying to be able to come up with a way of paying my time and my salary as we were starting over the last 8 years. Again, Small Business Innovative Research is what has funded this project that I worked cooperatively with Kansas State University. And basically what it does is called Quality System Verification Program, which is process verification. And we wrote manuals that basically take your product from the farm through the market and tells you each part that you need. What we found is it's very good, and it's the foundation that built our success. I mean, our success has been built on meat products. And so I think that was very good. But what we found as we've expanded is that it is very cumbersome. Number one is it has no market value except to a wholesaler. We need market value to the consumer. Okay, so why we do this, it's good. Don't want to discount that at all. And it built our foundation. So the money was very well spent. But we need to have something that is more consumer friendly, or we need to make sure that somehow we let the consumer know what this stands for. Next. All of our beef producers participate in different things, like we have the whole farm planning, the river-friendly farm, sustainable beef production. So we try to provide different programs that have been developed by the USDA or the land-grant universities, and we try to find which ones of those will fit and which ones will benefit. For example, the river-friendly farms, if you go through the class, you get, they will match you $5,000 to implement something on your farm. So that's kind of what my job is to find little programs that we can use that will help the farmers. Sustainable Beef Management was an ATRA publication that was very essential in helping some of our producers make sure and understand sustainability in beef production. Next. Delivery. Now, so far, each one of these you can go through and you will have rules and regulations. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. I'm just giving beef as an example of these 7 pieces. I want that to be understood to try to simplify it. Direct store delivery. Our meat, we own the processing plant, and we have trucks that deliver to the 29 stores once a week. Okay. We also have Ball's Food Stores also has their own warehouse, which has been a lifesaver. And that's where all the other products, whether it's honey, tofu, all the produce, cheese, milk, they all go through that. They all go to that central location, and then they distribute them out to their 29 stores. The factor that's limiting in that is very good because it has provided us where we are today, but it also limits you in the access that you have to other markets. Not necessarily other competing grocery stores, but other restaurants, food service, such as UMKC. We've had a lot of school districts, a lot of private schools, Head Start that's wanting some of these products, and we just really do not have a mechanism in place for distribution. The one thing that you will find if you have distribution and you have market, the innovation from the farmers will come. So I think that's, kind of have to almost work backwards to get there. But distribution, in my thinking, is probably the key and the most important piece.